A very good morning and welcome to our virtual open day. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Tiffany Thng, and I'm the Academic Director for Masters in Renewable Energy and Environmental Finance. Today, with us, we have Anne-Marie, who is the Program Manager of this program. We have Laura Keeley, the Admissions Manager, and David, who is a current student for this program. We're going to share with you the program overview, some of the interesting facts of this program, some roles our alumni and graduates are at and have gone to, and then we'll go a little bit about the admission process before our Q&A session. Feel free to type your question using the chat box below. Anne-Marie, Laura, David, or myself will address them. Now, this program provides a very good training in finance, which is essential for environmental and renewable energy space. It is targeted for graduates with an interest in ESG. We have designed this program to include in-depth coverage taught by industry and academic experts whose knowledge will equip you when you move on to work in this space. Data science is an emerging field, and we actually feel that our students should have the skills necessary in this rapid changing environment. So let's move on to look at the program structure. There are 3 trimesters in total. In the autumn trimester, you would undertake core finance modules that provide you with a good foundation and understanding of financial jargons, econometrics, and various types of financial instruments. So in this trimester, I'll be teaching the financial analysis, where you look at different kinds of financial statements to derive the fundamental value of a particular company. The spring trimester is always a very exciting trimester for our students. As we know, risk is a very important aspect for lenders of renewable energy projects, and the finance modules will help you understand even more as to how this risk can be assessed. You would also learn various challenges of renewable energy project, whether we're talking about wind or solar, and such. How are they being valued? Where are the sources of financing? Where are the investment in this field? Apart from exploring policies and regulations relating to environmental finance and impact investing, you would also acquire some skills highlighted in a report by Deloitte Ireland that studied the analysis of future sustainable finance skills and talent requirements in Ireland. As the economy is moving toward renewable energy, it is also very important for us to understand the economics and theory of the energy market, whether we're talking about demand, supply, or pricing, as well as portfolio and risk management. The data science skills that you will acquire would actually help you to understand how you can use various data science methods, such as AI methods, that might help you in future projects. There are 3 different pathways in the summer trimester. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the 3 pathways. The first pathway, as you can see in the red box, would entail 1 mandatory module, which is Ethics in Financial Services, and then you would have to take Green Data Science and choose 2 other modules. For pathway B, which is in the purple box, you would need to take the mandatory module, Green Data Science, as well as you would undergo a summer internship. The last pathway would be Ethics in Financial Services and a research dissertation or a research project. Now that you know a little bit more about the structure, I'll share with you some interesting facts about our program this year. So for this year, we have a total of 26 full-time students, which is more than 100% increase from last year. Approximately 46 are domestic. We have 31% international students and 38% female students. More than half of our students do not actually have any background in economics or in finance. So just to share with you, we have students that are from chemistry, agriculture, engineering, law. So if you ever need a head start, if you're not in economics or finance, feel free to drop me an email. I can always provide you with more material that might help you with a head start. We also have both fresh graduates and students with working experience coming into our full-time course. The average age for our students is approximately 30 years old. Now, there will be definitely one interesting question or a burning question that you have as to where are our graduates going. So the placements that our students have gone include a really wide range of jobs. They have gone to asset management, consultancy, energy trading, so in commodity, compliance and regulations, in various central banks, energy services, renewable energy firms, researchers in data providers or financial data providers. We also have some students that move on as academic, so they took on a PhD after their master's course. So I hope that whatever that we have discussed so far would give you a brief idea of what the program entails. We really hope to see you at the orientation. If you have any questions, after this webinar, feel free to reach out to me or Anne-Marie, and you can find out data or our email on our university website. So for incoming students, so for those of you who may have already accepted the program, I guess one of the things that you can do is to actually try to find out, are there any updates on our university website in terms of the delivery of our modules starting from the autumn trimester? There may be changes in terms of how we deliver our modules. So please, visit the university website as and when you can. There will be an update hopefully in July so that we know how the delivery modules, how the modules will be delivered. If you are a graduate that don't have any background in economics and finance and you'd like a head start, please drop me an email. I'll provide you with the material necessary for you to work through the summer. So now I will have Laura that would tell us a little bit more about the admission process. Laura, please.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Keeley. I'm an admissions manager at the Michael Smurfit Business School. So I'm just going to take a few minutes just to give you some advice about applying to the program, how you apply, and also just the admissions process as well. So our applications are still open for our September 2021 class. If you are thinking of applying, I would say to try and apply as soon as you can. Our applications have opened since the 1st of October last year. So we are coming towards nearer the end of our application process, but we do still have places for this program. So if you are thinking of applying, try and apply as soon as you can. So our applications are still open for September 2021. You make application online. So you go to the Michael Smurfit website and you can apply online directly from our website. So all the application process is done online. When you apply, we will need to see your academic transcripts. So we will need to see the grades that you got in your undergraduate degree and the modules that you've taken as well. So we do need to see your academic transcripts. However, the application is also, we look at your work experience. So if you have work experience, please include that. As Tiffany said as well, though, there are students that come directly from undergrad studies, so you may not have any work experience, but if you do, please include it. We do like to see a CV, and also there are 2 admissions questions. So again, it's really important to research the program to get as much information as you can, and this will help with your essay questions. So the essay questions really are about why you want to do this course. So again, making sure that you've researched it's the right course for you. So attending these webinars is really important as well, and knowing what kind of knowledge and what skill set you'll get from the MSc program. And the second question is about your career goals and what kind of job that you would like to work in after the program. So that's really important as well. So to know what kind of area, or if it's just what kind of job that you would like to pursue after the program as well. So that's the 2 essay questions. And then again are the CV and the academic transcripts, and that's the full application. So when you have that all completed, then you submit your application. And there is an application fee of €50 when you submit your application, and then it goes to the admissions team. So at the moment, we do have a significant amount of applications. So it can take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to hear back from the admissions team. But we will get back to you and we give you feedback on your application as well. So if you are to get an offer or a conditional offer, we do allow you 2 weeks to decide. So you need to accept your place within the 2 weeks. And that's basically how the admissions for this program works. So just to let you know, we do need to see academic transcripts, CV, and to answer the essay questions. The process normally takes about 2 to 3 weeks. So just to bear that in mind when you apply as well. And again, if you have any questions about the application or if you need any advice as well, we have another admissions webinar at 3:15 today. So please feel free to join that, or you can contact us directly in admissions. So our email is smurfit.admissions@ucd.ie, and it's available on the event page today as well. And again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask them in the Q&A. I'd be happy to answer them as well. And just wish you the best of luck with your application as well. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Laura. So I think now we have the Q&A. And Marie, do we have any questions?
Yeah, so we have one there, Tiffany. Can we get some detail on the program and if there is a need to have a basic knowledge of coding? If so, what language?
Okay, so I'll answer that. So you don't need any basic in terms of coding, because our students are coming from all different sorts of background. We have law students, or we even actually have lawyer solicitors that have been working in an industry for a couple of years, and they don't have any background in that. So in the first semester, we have this financial econometrics, where you would learn MATLAB and probably a little bit of Python. And in the summer trimester, if you decide to take green data science, if I'm not mistaken, the language that you will be learning, it's either R or Python. So you don't need any prior knowledge for that. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, just to add to that, Tiffany, I came from an undergrad in food and agribusiness, so I had no experience in coding at all, and it was fine. There's a really basic level at the start of the year, do an introductory course, and then by Christmas you're pretty competent at MATLAB, and then you get to use it a bit more in portfolio management in the second semester. And yet then you can learn Python again as part of green data science, and that's also starts at the very beginning, and you can pick it up with no experience at all. So I wouldn't be intimidated by it.
Great, thanks, David. Thanks for the question, Andrew.
Okay, so we have another question from Simon. Coming from UCD, there are 5 options for official documents transcripts. Is it just the academic transcript that will be needed for a conditional offer to be confirmed? So I guess that's for you, Laura.
Yeah, so yeah, we just need to see the academic transcript. If you're a UCD undergrad student, though, we have access to your UCD results. So you won't need to provide any academic transcripts. We'll have access to them. So what you need to do is you just need to submit your CV and answer the essay questions. And then we'll get back to you with the admissions team. If we do require any additional documentation, we'll let you know.
Great, thanks, Laura.
So there's no other questions there at the moment. So David, maybe if you'd like to just maybe let everyone know what your experience has been of the program and how you found it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm in the 3rd trimester of the Masters at the moment, doing an internship with SCB, who are commodity brokers, and I'm based in London. So I came in with no experience, no background in finance. My undergrad was in food and agribusiness, and it was a bit intimidating, I suppose, coming in the first semester with all the finance modules, but you pick it up so fast, and it's done so well, and the lecturers deliver it so well, that you don't need to worry if you're like me and you don't have a background in finance. So the first semester is very intense for the finance modules, and then after Christmas you kind of get a bit of room to express your knowledge, I suppose. So we had a renewable energy module after Christmas where we had to pitch a bid price for a wind farm, and that kind of allowed us to express all of the theory that we learned and put it into practice and put it into real life, which was really, really cool, I thought. And then also we had portfolio management in the second semester, which also allows you to bring that theory you've learned into real life, which is really, really cool. So I really enjoyed it and I'd really recommend it.
Fantastic. That's great. So if anyone has any other questions, there's one here from Andrew. David, Tiffany, I have not studied for some time and I'm nervous. Can you give me some idea of workload and time demand? I come from asset management background and I'm working on delivering energy transition projects, but academic life is very difficult to the office, or very different, sorry, to the office. Can you provide some more color on time?
Sure. So I think, so coming from a personal experience, I was working in a bank for about 5 to 7 years before I decided to do my master's. So I do, understand how you feel, Andrew, because I think, it's really scary, especially, when you know that you have to deal with mathematics. For me, I would say that the first semester you would probably study a lot, but I mean, David can jump in and, correct me if I'm wrong, but I really had a hard time, especially for my first trimester. So the first trimester was the hardest for me. And then starting from there, once you get the momentum of everything, things are okay. But I think one thing that I can help is to provide you with additional material so that you can have a head start in basic mathematics. So you can look through some videos and some practice before you actually start the term. That should be helpful for you if you're worried about, not being able to, say, follow or having the momentum. So I believe that the first semester workload should be the heaviest, but other than that, I think it should be quite manageable. Yeah. So David, how do you feel?
Yeah,
You for a little bit too.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. The first trimester is intense, but it's manageable. It's very manageable. There's lots of reading, but they do all the programs, all the modules do start at a basic level. They move on quite fast, so you have to keep up with the readings, but it is manageable.
Yeah. So I always also think that, if in a job, whichever job that you're in, sometimes when you work and you don't really know what is the outcome that you get. But for studying, it's really different. You know that, if you finish chapter 1 to chapter 10, you go to the exam, you would do well. So, you kind of have a target to kind of know if you're going to do well, but maybe on a day-to-day basis in a job, there's so many things that you have to cover. And, it's just different. So I think the encouragement I can give is, if you can do a job, I'm quite sure you can actually study.
Okay, thanks, guys. So the next question is from Hugh. I know you mentioned a finance background was not needed, but would taking more modules or classes in the finance space add weight to an application? So I'm in my final year in BCom. Would it be suggested that I do financial econometrics or portfolio management modules, etc.?
Okay, great. Thanks, Hugh. Let me just look at the question again. Okay, so I think the two modules in question, it's financial econometrics and portfolio management. I would say that it definitely helped because what you would cover in the master module would be starting from basics, but if you already know it, I would believe that it'll be easier for you when it comes to the first semester where we have financial econometrics, and then in the second term, we have portfolio and risk management. So that should give you a good head start.
Great, thank you. And again, from Hugh, just wondering if you could give more information on the typical roles in the summer internship pathway.
Sure. So typical roles we have, okay, so maybe I can share with you some of the roles that our current batch of students have or are doing. So we have a student who is at the Rocky Mountain Institute. So he's a summer intern for Center for Climate Aligned Finance. We also have a student that went to a Capital Advisor as a financial analyst. We have another student who is an ESG intern at Irish Life Investment Managers. We also have students going to solar energy project as a developer. We have students going to electro route as treasury and operations, and also as a trainee energy trader. There's a student who is at the Central Bank of Ireland in the climate change unit. So these are some of the typical roles, I would say. But of course, there are many other roles that you can actually take on. But I can say that most of our students are actually leaning towards renewable energy and sustainability finance.
So, and a question for you, David, what do you intend to do afterwards?
So at the moment, I'm doing an internship with SCB, who are commodity brokers, and I'm based in London. They have offices all around the world. And something, yeah, this or something similar to this would definitely be the aim. And but I don't think that's typical. I think there's only 2 people maybe out of the class that went into commodity broking or trading. But it's a vague range, like as Tiffany was saying there. People went many different pathways, so you're not really tied into one area per se.
Great. There's no other questions there at the moment. Oh, sorry, just one more from Simon. When is the decision made about which of the 3 choices for the final semester? So when do you make the decision about which of the 3? Okay, so I can actually take that one. So usually the registration for the summer trimester opens around mid-March. So you would make your decision around then. So I hope that answers your question. You're welcome. So a question from Andrew. Do many go on to complete a PhD?
I can take that question.
Yeah.
So from the current batch, I don't have any yet. So far, out of the maybe last 3 or 5 years, we have a total of 2. Our class size is relatively small, so it ranged from about 12 to 26 for the past few years. So far, 2. But some don't go on to do a PhD immediately. They may be in the industry for a couple of years, and they decide to do a PhD after. So hopefully there will be more. But currently, I think maybe 2. We have 2 that I know of.
Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. Is it possible to do the course remotely or online? So the plan is for the coming academic year is that everybody is going to be hopefully back on campus. And that's what the university is planning towards. I mean, obviously we are bound by government guidelines in the Department of Education, and they're going to be releasing a report now at the beginning of July. So hopefully we'll have more information then, but certainly the plan is to be back on campus and not online. I mean, obviously we will have to adapt if things change. As we know, things can change, but that's the plan at the moment, is to be back on campus. If face-to-face teaching will be back fully by September, will the lectures still be recorded, or is that something that could be considered? So I think the plan is to go back to face-to-face. At the moment, we are waiting to kind of hear back about the report on how that is all going to happen. So that's still going to be, in the pipeline really, to be sort of teased out. So, I mean, we hope that we'll have further information on that in the summer. Is there any other questions? I think that might be it, Tiffany.
Good. Great. So thank you for joining us today. I'm sure that, after reading the website or the offer, you may have more questions. Feel free to reach out to any one of us. You can find our details on the Smurfit website. If you go to the MSc Renewable Energy and Environmental Finance page, you would see my details, and you would also see Anne-Marie's detail. So feel free to reach out if you need anything or any questions. Let us know.
Oh, just one final question there. Can the course be done part-time?
Yes, so we do have a part-time option that is across 2 years. Okay, so I think
that's it.
Yeah, that's the question. That's all that we have for today. Again, feel free to reach out to us if you need anything. Please let us know. I hope that the webinar today would give you a little bit more information about this program, and the experience that David have should actually tell you a little bit more about us. So thank you for joining us again, and I hope you have the rest of a good day ahead.
Bye, everyone.